Hey Gifted Crafters, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to show you 3 different ways on how to clean that dirty iron. So let's get started. So if you're anything like me, you use your iron a lot. I know I do. And they can get pretty gunky with all the interfacing and all of the starch and other products that we use. So mine are pretty dirty. So now I want to just figure out what the best way is to clean them. And I have 3 different solutions for you, and I want to share those with you today. So the first method we're going to take a look at is using your dryer sheets. Now, I use Bounce, but you can use any different brand that you may already have in your home. So let's try this and see what happens. Now, I'm going to go ahead and lay my sheet flat onto a terry cloth that I have that is cotton. And I have my iron that is pretty dirty. And I have to admit, this iron has been dirty for quite some time. So it is super, super dirty. And the gunk has been sitting there for a few months. I have to admit that. And this is just an iron. It's a household iron, white Westinghouse. And it's just what I use at my home for other things, not so much for crafting or quilting, because for that, I use my Oliso. So let's give it a try with the dryer sheet. I'm going to go ahead and just iron away. Well, it did take off some of it, but not too much. And it kind of burned the dryer sheet a little bit. But I do see a little bit of the gunk on here. So let me just fold it up, and I'm going to give it another try. You can see some of the gunk that has come off. Well, still have a lot of gunk on there. So I'm not sure if this method would really work for me, especially since this iron has had the gunk for quite some time. So I'm going to go ahead and move to the second method. Okay, so the second method I am going to try is using these Mr. Clean Magic Erasers. So you may already have this in your home. So this is another household item that you may be able to use. So let's take a look at this one and see if this works for this gunky iron that's been sitting there for many, many months. So I've got one out already. And I do have a little bowl of water. So I'm going to go ahead and dump it in there. Just kind of submerge it. And then I will squeeze out the excess. This should activate this. I'm going to go ahead and do it a second time just to make sure that it is nice and soaked. Okay. And I'm going to put it on top of my terry cloth. And let me move this over out of the way. So my sponge is nice and wet. Now you could probably just take that sponge and iron it, but being that the iron is pretty hot, I'm not going to recommend that. Okay, so here we are. I'm going to run my iron onto the sponge. You can see the steam coming up. I'm not sure if that shows on the camera or not. I am starting to see a little bit of gunk on the sponge. Let's see now. Well, I do see some of it did get cleaned up. And you can see the sponge does have a little bit of that dirt. You can see the steam coming right off of the sponge. So let me rinse it again and try it one more time. So I'm going to grab a bowl of water again. We're going to dunk it in here and take out some of the water. Put that down again. Actually, I'm going to flip it over to this side. You can see it is nice and white. And let's see if anything comes off. Hmm. I do see some of the gunk has come off. I'm going to try it one more time going a different direction. Also just going to tilt it a little bit to get those sides as well. Let's take a look. Yeah, not seeing too much of an improvement there, but it did get some of it off. Could be that my iron just has had this gunk for so long that it just doesn't want to come off. Let's try to go moving forward to the third method. Okay, so for the third method, I am going to use my magic iron cleaner. And this is something that you can pick up at any of your local craft stores. I know I got mine from the Missouri Star Christmas box that I received last year. I was kind of hooked on it once I've tried it out, so maybe you'll like it as well. So I'm going to go ahead and open it up. And you do need to make sure that you are using 100% cotton cloth on here. I'm going to flip it over since it got a little bit wet. And I'll go ahead and draw a little line with the iron cleaner there. Now I'll go ahead and I'll take the iron and let's run it through and see what happens. As you can see, the terry cloth is looking quite dirty. So it seems to have taken off quite some dirt on here. Let's just change the direction a little bit and I'll try going on the side. Now I'm just doing it a little bit light. Let's take a look at that. It does show a little bit cleaner. And as you can see, the towel is quite dirty. So it did pick up a lot of the gunk. Like I said, this iron has been dirty for quite some time. So let me try it again. I'm going to put a little bit more and we'll give it another go. Okay. It's nice to kind of tilt the iron a little bit and get those corners. Well, let's try this a little bit more. Wow, that's a lot of gunk that it's picking up. Look at this. Let me give you guys a little close up. Can you see that? It really did pick up a lot. That's pretty dirty. Let's just flip it over and let's see how much more I can get out. I'm going to go ahead and try to fold this way. See how this is nice and clean on this side. So I'm going to try it again. And let's take a look. Now, I don't have any water in my iron, so this is just a dry iron, but you can do it with steam. I would prefer the dry iron. This is pretty dirty. Not too bad. Starting to see it look a lot cleaner. Let's see. That's a lot of dirt that it took off. And this was the clean side. Pretty dirty. Like I said, it's been a really long time. So I bet if I go a couple more tries at this, it will really take all of the gunk out. So far, I'm pretty impressed with this product. Let's take a closer look. As you can see, a lot of the gunk is almost gone. Still has a little bit, so I probably have to do a couple more rounds. But like I said, this iron has been dirty for quite some time. So I'm going to do one more round just for giggles. Let's try this again. Yeah, pretty dirty. And as you can see, it did take out that big piece of gunk that we had on that side. So not too bad. Towel is pretty dirty. I can probably go a couple more rounds just to really get it cleaned and get it back to that state that it was in when you first got your iron. So definitely this product, I give it a thumbs up. I think it's really great. Again, this is made by Magic Iron Cleaner, and this is just the 2-ounce size, but I'm sure they come in different sizes than you can get. Now, I'm going to go ahead and try this one more time, but this time I'm going to be using my very special iron. So let's move this over here. So if you guys watch my channel, you know that this iron is one of my favorites. It's my baby that I use for all of my quilting projects. And you can see here, it is just a little bit dirty. Not too much, but we definitely want to keep that clean. So let me see if I can find part of the towel. It's not too bad. I'm going to try this side. Try to focus on this corner here. Now, since this iron isn't too dirty, I'm not going to use too much here, and I'm going to focus it on that corner here. Definitely, when you're doing this, you want to make sure again that your iron is on its highest setting. So I do have it on the cotton setting, and I want to make sure that it is on that setting. And as it's heating up here, this Oliso iron is really awesome. If you are a quilter, this is the iron to have. I just absolutely love this iron. So now I think it's pretty hot. I think we're ready to give it a go. Makes me nervous because this is one of my favorite irons, so I really want to make sure nothing happens to it, but we really need to get it cleaned up because it does have some of that gunk in there. So let's give it a go. Definitely want to get those corners. You can see one of my corners looked like it was pretty dirty. Ooh, okay, let's take a look. Yep, looks pretty clean to me. Love it. See the corners here. It looks great. I love it. Now I'll do it just a little longer, but definitely something that I look forward to using all the time now. And I won't be so nervous on doing that because now I know that it does work, especially with my favorite iron. But as you can see on the towel, it did have some gunk on there. You couldn't really see it. It wasn't too visible since it has the ceramic plate. And the ceramic plate does, last a little bit longer. It's not going to be as dirty because it is more durable, but definitely did pick up the gunk and it did clean it up. And this product even cleaned my old iron that has been sitting there for many, many, many months with all that gunk on it. So I think this is a pretty good buy, and I would definitely give it a thumbs up, give it a try. If you're going to clean your iron, this is the way to go. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope to be crafting with you soon. And don't forget to check out some of my other videos.